in my opinion, the way that the government sort of like views the people, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? You know that people are living in squalor and absolute abject poverty, and you don't give a f. You will steal from a hospital to the tune of 2 billion rand and buy a 50 million rand car. And you know 100%. That people, how can you do that? You know, I can think that because I've got a point of reference that includes both views. But that rural person, if you're telling them that, hey, check here, this guy bought a 50 million rand car, money he stole from a hospital. They're like, bro, f that, I got running water, I'm not interested. What's the story with the 350? You see, my list of priorities, brother, it doesn't factor into my thinking what you're trying to tell me.
It's like when we talk about the failure of SAA and privatization, I mean, they don't fly, they don't care about airplanes.
And they make up the majority, of the voters, of the voters. Yeah. That's why Gareth said something interesting the other day, and I'm glad he said it. We've actually had that conversation off air, Gareth and I, that I don't think that everybody should be allowed to vote. I agree with him. That's what he said, and I agree 100%. I do believe that allowing everybody to vote, including, you see, what people do is they take that statement, they clip it as not everybody should be allowed to vote, and they say, you racist, you don't want blacks to vote, you don't want women to vote, you're sexist, you're racist, you're fascist. No, I don't think prisoners have any business voting. Let's start with prisoners.
I agree.
Okay, so that's 300,000-400,000 people immediately cancelled from voting. That's a step in the right direction. A grant recipient, somebody who is dependent on the state for their survival, it's not fair that they get to vote for. We can have a clause in place that says you can never desert these people. That's it. A taxpayer. I am happy to support people who cannot support themselves. But like Bill Clinton did when he came in, not indefinitely. Not everybody who is a grant recipient is incapable of working, learning a skill, or being educated. I think we should put a lot of those billions that we send in the form of grants into how are we upskilling these people? How are we educating these people? What is the 10, 20-year plan to make sure that this child who is a recipient of a grant right now grows up to be a functioning member of society?
Economic growth.
Because
economic growth.
There we go. It's been how many years? 1990, I think 1990 social grant starts in 1998. 2 million people. It's now over 25 million people. That can't work.
There are only 60 million people in the country.
And only 10 million or less are paying tax. I'm surprised that it's enough to even sustain this fucking massive bubble.
Me too.
But I don't think that the bubble is sustainable much longer. And when it crashes, then you'll really see shit because people will be starving.
What happens then?
Because you know what
Musi Maimane said to me? He said, come the time when people can't take it anymore and they hit the streets and they march, you're going to be in no idea which direction. You're hoping it's Pretoria to the Union Building to say, we've had enough. But it could go in any direction.
The problem is, and this is the sad part, we saw it during the July riots and nobody spoke about it. When that happens, they'll hurt each other. They'll hurt each other first and they'll hurt themselves. We had a situation, at the time I was working at Kagasi. Was I still at Kagasi? Might have been the year that I left, but I was still I used to work at Kagasi FM, so I lived in Durban. So I remember all my oaks, Durban North, Mhlanga, like my guys from KwaMashu and stuff, they were like, listen, we're putting together, like people really galvanized, you know what I mean? They put roadblocks in place to prevent.
So you were part of all that?
I was in Joburg and I traveled down to Durban to say, okay, what's going on? You know what I mean? Not like we weren't like mobilizing like military commandos, but everybody that I knew in my friendship
protecting
circle,
each other.
We were doing that in Joburg, on all the security groups, messages were going out to say, hey, we need help here, we need help there, we need help wherever. We'd jump in the cars and we'd go. And when you get to that scene, bro, there's 20 cars. You know what I mean? You don't pull up there and it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
And you pull up there and there's 20 other oaks that have pulled up.
Yeah.
Some of them are just ordinary guys that are on the group from the Community Policing Forum halfway across the city. They've made their way all the way that way because help was needed. Because again, South Africa, there's a resilience about South Africans that I just think we can't ignore, right? And when that happened, if you look at a place like my colleague worked in Enanda, lived in Enanda and worked at Kagasi, and she said that people marched to the Spar. They fucked the Spar up. Then they marched to the Shell garage and the engine garage, and they tried to steal the petrol, and that out to the whole garage quarter, right? Then they marched to the depot where the trucks were, and they burnt the trucks. And as a result, I cannot get to work today because I've got no petrol in my car, and the nearest garage is 15
far away.
kilometers away because this is the only garage on my route between X and Y. There's nowhere to buy groceries. I've now got to go and shop for the groceries somewhere
And
in
these were
Umhlanga
local
because
people.
these were local people. They up the spaza shops, the spa. This is where everybody in that community buys their
Suffers.
groceries. So the first people to be affected will be themselves if that happens. That's problem number one. Problem number two is it's impractical. It would be impossible to mobilize that many people in vehicles. You see, they'll have to come on foot. And coming on foot is very slow. So anybody, even pops, our South
All going to
African
be very
police,
local.
our police will stop them way before that because there are measures that our security cluster, there's guys in private security, 3,000 of them will end that thing in 2 hours. So I don't believe that that'll ever happen. But the most vulnerable on the outskirts will obviously be a target. But as I say, I believe that the people will target each other first, which is sad because it'll be the strong ones targeting the weak ones. And nobody wants that, including the strong ones.
Do you think there could be civil unrest? I think it's highly
There
unlikely.
could be civil unrest, but it'll be similar to the July riots.
And it'll be very localized. It won't
Very
spread across the
localized.
country.
No chance. And even if it spreads across the country, it'll spread most vulnerable, outskirts first. But in the metros and in the hubs, there's no way they're going to come into Cape Town CBD and do anything. No ways. They'll make it maybe from the airport there halfway across that highway and then also get tired, they'll go home. Also, like I listen to a lot of our politicians say, we're prepared to die. I'm like, really?
Really?
Try dying, then tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way you're prepared to die. That's a strong statement to make.
So, Warras, you're a dynamic, young, intelligent, good-looking,
Well, thank you.
hot South African.
Yeah. I'm a Bali now.
You're not a Bali. Are you married? You got kids?
No, I'm not married.
Single?
I've got 3 kids. I've got 2 boys with my ex-girlfriend, first baby mama. One is 16 and the little one is 11. And then I've got a middle son as well with my second baby mama. He's 14. So 3 boys, no girls. I'm working.
And where is that school?
2 are at Pinnacle College in Linden, which is in Johannesburg. Pinnacle College is like one of these Curo type chains.
Okay.
But Pinnacle is expensive, I must be honest.
And that's good at sport, good at academics?
Good at sport, but lazy. Good at academics. I'd say my eldest really applies himself. That guy, he's got a tutor that he operates with. He said, no, Dad, I need a tutor for this. When he asks me for something, I move heaven and earth to get it for him because he's the type of guy that, like, if I supply him with the tutor, he will maximize on how much.
So if he says he wants a book, you get him the book because you know he's going to
And I know the result that he comes with at the end of these exams for maths and physics is going to be amazing because I've given him all the tools he needs. The little one is a genius. He's got some sort of photographic memory. He's left-handed. And the middle one is also really, really smart. I mean, in his younger years, he was like top 3 in his class. So they're very good. They're good boys. They don't misbehave. They're very well behaved. I was actually speaking to Prince about it earlier, where I was saying, the importance of being a father, having a father figure in your life, rather, cannot be understated. Like I look at my kids and I listen to people tell me about their kids who are like a similar age. I had my granddad. My dad passed away in 1994. So I was like 8.
And your granddad was part of your life?
My granddad was my oak. Yeah, he's part of my life till beyond matric. Then he passed away. But I think the lessons had already been instilled at that stage. Also, like I'd say I've never really been somebody that's for drugs. I drink, but I've never like abused alcohol. I don't have any vices per se. I smoke a vape. I used to smoke cigarettes. So I'm a good boy vices. For the... No, vertical vices. But 3 licenses, 2 baby.
Couple of horizontal vices.
But yeah, like I probably will get married. Just find a wife. Yeah. They're few and far between these days. Streets are full of hoes.